Boys and girls, if you can believe it, today is our last lesson on our nonfiction book. You have 2 more steps to do today and then you are done. Can you believe it? I'm so proud of you. I hope you are so proud of yourself. So today, our learning target is this. You will create an enticing cover and meaningful dedication for your nonfiction book. And I bet you might be wondering what the word enticing means. It means interesting. It means grabbing your reader, making them want to read your book. If you are doing a book on bats and you just write bats on the cover and just draw a little kind of loopy black bat on there, is anyone going to pick that up? No, because you know yourself. You know the kind of books you like to pick out when you go to the library. You pick ones with great covers, interesting titles, things like that. Here are a couple of samples from the old books, and you've seen this one before. It is called Eat, Chomp, Bite. And then it says Great White Sharks, written and illustrated by Jace Konwinski. This is Jace's book, and he thought of a really interesting title, and he did bubble letters, and down here he's drawn a great white shark down in the ocean, really nice. And here is Zach's, and he did all about prairie dogs. And he drew a prairie dog's home in their tunnels underneath the ground. He has a prairie dog up here, a nice sun. He did nice bubble letters and everything. And you notice the words in the title are all capitalized. That's important. Alrighty? So you're going to need 2 pieces of scrap paper today. One has to be this size, regular paper, because that is the same size as your cover. And I want you to practice, I want you to do a first draft on scrap paper, like I did. And the reason I'm having you do it as a first draft on here is because then it's going to be easier to move over to this. If you take a small piece of paper and try to do a rough draft and then move it to here, it's not going to work. Same thing with something bigger. Just get a regular piece of white paper. Lined, unlined, doesn't matter. So then what I did is I thought of an interesting title for mine, and it says Bats, Our Friends in the Night. And someone might read that and think, well, why are bats our friends? That makes them want to read the book. And then even though night is part of my title, I didn't want to color my whole cover black. But what I did is I drew a little house here, and I put windows in it, and I put lights in the windows. So that's like a little hint to my reader that this is a picture of nighttime outside. And I drew my bats, and I drew some background, a tree, and some ground. Did I color it in all perfectly? No. I drew in pen, but I want you to draw in pencil. Draw in pencil first, draw everything in pencil. You don't need to put details on the faces because that doesn't matter. We're going for size here so that we know everything fits, okay? And then I drew my tree sort of how I want it, my house, and I did bubble letters and I did letters with the dots on it. Again, you'll notice that all of my letters in the title are capitalized. What did I forget? Right, I forgot to put written and illustrated by Mrs. Avolio on here, so I better do that. Here we are. Use my magnets, and I'll squeeze it down here at the bottom. Do you have to do this? Yes, because you need credit for all the work that you did. Then, when you're happy with your design, I'm happy with mine now. Here's a good look at it. I'm happy with how it turned out. You see how there's not a lot of detail. It's mostly for size. Good. See? Now I'm going to start transferring it to my book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 2 things right next to each other. You're not going to do it up on a board like this because that is way too hard. Put the book right next to my rough draft and kind of try to make things the same size. So I wrote my words bats, and then I'll do Our Friends in the Night. And I'm writing lightly in pencil in case I make a mistake. I'm going to go back and put the dots on. Whoops. I forgot my loop here. The night. Can you see what I've done there? Good. See how it's light? Because you can go over it later with marker. Then I've got to do my house over here. Kind of coming out. Maybe a little bit further. Like that. And then my ground. And then my tree. And I like how that one's split. And I don't want to go over my words with my tree. And then I got to start drawing my bats. And then, see? Then I need to put the rest of my details in. Whoopsie. And color it in. Am I going to color this one like that one? No. I'm going to color this one really nice and make sure it's just beautiful, but I'm super proud of it. So I don't want to take any more time talking to you about how to color and finishing doing the drawings, but you get the idea. You have to do a rough draft and then have them next to each other as you move the rough draft onto the final copy. Pencil first, then color in crayon. You can go over the words in marker. They're written and illustrated in the title if you want to, but the picture should be in crayon. Good. The next thing that you need to do today is think of a meaningful dedication for your book. So I took another piece of scrap paper. This one doesn't matter what size it is, does it? And I wrote 2 dedications, and then I have to pick which one I'm going to do. So I have 2. And the first one I wrote is for Caroline, who has loved bats since we read Stellaluna in 2001. And then I put a little heart, and I put my initials, my first name, middle name, last name, all with capital letters and periods after them. Okay, so this one's for my daughter. And then the other one that I had a choice of was for Mrs. Lopez, or to Mrs. Lopez, for helping me research and write this book, because Mrs. Lopez was with us when we wrote this book. And then I put a dash, and again, my initials at the bottom. You do not have to write 2 dedications, but I really don't want you to write this, for Mom, okay, or for Dad. Could you say, for Mom and Dad for helping me make this such a special book? Yes. For Kendra, because she has learned so much about manatees while I made this book. Yes, you can do something like that. So think about what you want to do. Write it in a rough draft. Have your grown-up edit it for you. And then this is where you're going to write it. Are you ready? This is your cover. I want you to write it right here on the inside of your cover after your grown-up has helped you edit it, just like we did at school when we had to edit your work, right? When you did a dedication, you wrote it, you came to me, I fixed it up, you rewrote it in here. So that's what I want you to do for your dedication, but I want it to be meaningful. So take a little time and think about it. Alrighty, so for Hunter, who loves tigers as much as I do. Yep, Sophia, that could be one for you, all right? I don't know. You decide what you want to do. It's totally up to you. But I think I'm going to dedicate mine to Caroline. So actually, you know what? Why don't you vote for me? When you get yours done, send me a vote. Should I dedicate mine to Caroline or Mrs. Lopez? I'll put a Google Doc in, and when you're all done with your cover and all done with your dedication, vote for who I should do mine for, okay? That'll be exciting. And then you can have a part of my book. All right, I think that is it for today. And I'm going to show you one other thing. This poster, these are all of the things that your nonfiction book should have. And I know most of you have 5 questions and 5 answers. Those are your paragraphs. And most of you have at least 5 bold words. Okay? But I'll take a picture of this and put it on the Google Classroom so that you can go through your book with your grown-up and make sure you've got it all. So you're ready for our writer's celebration on Monday. So excited. All right, have a great day, and I will see you soon.